All right, grade 8 students, Mr. Mack here with your chapter 6.6 math links on order of operations with fractions. If you like the video, make sure you smash the like button below. Okay, so we're going to do some show you know here. So I'm going to grab the question off the sheet that's over here. And it says 7 multiplied by a half. Take away 2 divided by 3/5. So in this particular Bedmas question, we had 3 operations. And as with all expressions that we're simplifying, if they have certain operations, we have to do multiplication division before we would do the subtraction. So the first thing I'm going to do is figure out what 7 times a half is. And if we think about that question, that's really just 7 halves, which would be 7 over 2. But if I want to use an algorithm just to kind of get my answer right, it's 7 over 1 multiplied by 1 over 2. Multiply your numerators, multiply your denominators. You're still going to get 7 halves as an answer. Now, just to make sure I don't screw up, I'm just going to simplify that one part and write the rest below. Now I have 2 operations. I've simplified 1. I had 3 operations. Now I have 2. The next operation I'm going to simplify is right here. So 2 over 1 divided by 3/5 is the same thing as 2 over 1 multiplied by its reciprocal. We're going to use that multiplication method again. And when we do that, we multiply our numerators out, we get 10. Multiply your denominators, you get 3. So this thing right here simplifies to be 10/3. Now the rest of it, that 7 half that we simplified in the first part, comes down. And now what was 2 operations is now just 1. Now I have 7 halves, take away 10/3. Now we have to go back in time to grade 7. And we have to think, how do I do this? Well, I need a common denominator. So I use that common denominator. The lowest one you could use is 6. I then make 2 equivalent fractions. If I multiply 2 by 3, I get 6. So I have to multiply the numerator by 3 to get that same equivalent fraction. So 7 over 2, just to confirm the idea of equivalency. If I take this calculator, and go 7 divided by 2, it's 3.5. And if I go 21 divided by 6, it's still 3.5. So I'll delete this thing here. So 21 over 6 and 7 over 2 are the same value. And 20 over 6 and 10 over 3 are the same value. Now I have 21/6 take away 26. My answer is 1/6. Okay? So all of that work right here. Oopsie daisy. Oopsie daisy. Oopsie. Come on now, Bessie. There you go. All that work right over here, that's just kind of in my margin. I don't need to show that. I don't need this thing right here. But as I look from my original 7 times a half minus 2 divided by 3/5, as I work my way down here to this answer, I'm just getting smaller and smaller because there's one less operation along the way. Your second question, I have just enough time to put it down, is 3 halves divided by, in brackets, 1/2 plus 1/4, divided by 3/4. So the first thing I'm going to simplify in this one is my brackets. And most of us know that 1/2 plus 1/4 is 3/4. But if you didn't know that, you could find your common denominators. And you could add them together and you still get 3/4. So I now have 3 halves divided by 3/4 divided by 3/4. So what I'm going to do, actually this would be a great time to use the common denominator method, but we won't use it. We'll use the first operation is going to be this division. So I'm going to keep the first fraction, change to multiplication, and use the reciprocal. The nice thing about this is it cross reduces really nice because the 3 over 3 becomes 1 over 1. The 4 over 2 becomes 2 over 1. And what I end up with when I cross reduce would be 2. And if I didn't cross reduce, I'm still going to get 2 because I get 12 over 6, which is still going to be 2, no matter how I look at it. So then I bring down the rest of it, which is this divided by 3/4. So I have 2 divided by 3/4. So 2 over 1 multiplied by the reciprocal of 3/4, which is 4 over 3. I get 8/3, which is 2 and 2/3. Okay? Oh, we have just enough time for one more show, you know. How exciting is this? We'll listen to Charlie Puth tomorrow. Oh, we'll see what we can do. All right. We'll listen to Charlie Puth. Shh, hang on one second. Later. So, the last question is 9/4 take away 1/2 multiplied by common denominator 6/8, which is going to be 5/8. Shh. 9/4 take away. The product here will be 5/16. Common denominator will be 16. 4 times 9, I have to multiply this by 4 to get the 16. So I have to multiply this by 4 to get 36/16. 36/16 take away 5/16 is 31/16, which is 1 and 15/16. Remember, if you like this video, smash the like button and don't forget to subscribe. And this video has been sponsored by Loudmouth Golf Apparel. Remember, if you want to live your own life, live it loud.